Good morning, people of God. Move Daniel now, don't come back by me. I had to get Daniel down. I was sitting here just sipping and thinking happy thoughts, and he just come and curl right up under me and dig down under me, digging his foot and kicking me over some, getting a good, settling in right up under me. And I'm like, move, Daniel. And he just sitting back there like he don't hear me. I said, move. I said, move, Daniel. Then he gonna lift his head up and look. The camera, look at the camera. I just started snapping it so it could take automatic photos. He just sat there and started looking like he ain't understand me. And then before I got to sit down, my chicken, she tapped on the door, tapping on the back door. I went to go open the door, and she flop in the house. And I'm like, "What you doing?" She don't never be that brave, but I've been spending extra time with her lately because, like I told you guys in the previous video, she is recovering from her injury. My rooster hurt her back and she couldn't even walk. She was flipping from side to side. But I'm so happy that she's doing better. I've been spending time with her, giving her little mandarin oranges and things like that. And so now when she see me, she run to me, and for her to flop in the house like that, she didn't even want to go out the house. I kept trying to like bait her out, and she pressing her little light body on me. I'm like, oh, go ahead now. Try not to push your heart because your back hurt. And she bracing back on me. I ain't want to go out the house. Oh Lord, these animals a trip, baby. But anyway, good morning. I hope everybody rested well. It's getting a little chilly. It was a little chilly morning here now. You know, I don't like to move around in the cold, but I have set my mind to this winter. I think I'm gonna try to be really, really active. I'm gonna try to be more active this winter. Normally I slow down in the winter, but based on for that hot summer we had, I'm gonna try to be active throughout this winter and slow down in the summer. Cause next summer gonna be hot, baby. But anyway, I hope you all rested well. This message pretty much I want to encourage my young sisters. I want to encourage you, my young people. Um, it's okay to be the odd one out. It's okay to be the one that's not too fast and the one that's looked at as weird and different. It's okay to be, the odd one out and not give in to peer pressure, because I know how that is when you're younger, and then you have a lot of folk giving in the peer pressure, and you'll have a lot of young girls who will lose their virginity giving in the peer pressure, trying to follow up with what the bigger girls are doing, the older girls are doing, or either not even the older girls, or just what some of the girls in your group may be doing. And you don't have to give into that peer pressure. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be laughed at. You ever hear that saying? Those who laugh last laugh best. It's okay to be laughed at. Be comfortable being yourself. And sometimes you can't see it because younger folk. A lot of times you're developing physically, mentally, and you don't really process the spiritual part of things yet. But some of us who just a few years older than you, we now can look back because now we're in the same situations as some older folk who've been older than us, and our parents, grandparents, things they've told us. So now we can look back and see what some of you are coming through or experiencing, and say, oh no, do this, do that, and we can and if we can tell you with confidence because we know what the end looked like. We already been through that, And so I just want to encourage those of you who are on the right track, continue to do the right thing for the right reasons, and understand you don't always have to fit in. I didn't always fit in. There were times when people used to laugh at me because I was slow. I didn't catch on to a lot of things. And even when I was in I remember I remember one time I had an older cousin. She was only like 2 years older than me. We were all at one of my aunt's house. My aunt has passed away now, but we would visit. We was at my aunt's house, and she was insulting me. She was like, "Yo, no chest. You ain't got no chest," you know. And we were like throwing jabs back and forth at each other. She's only like 2 years, 3 years older than me, but her and my other older cousin, they were there. Their bodies were more developed than mine, so they had breasts at a young teenage. They had breasts that were way out here, you know and so I was so young at that time. I didn't understand when she said you don't have no chest. She was like, you don't got no chest. And so I looked at my aunt Girlie, who's now passed. She used to love to bake sweet potato, baby. She always want to bake a sweet potato. Sabrina, take this sweet potato. I didn't like them that much back then, but I would eat them when she would make candy yams and stuff. And so she's sitting at the table eating her sweet potato. My mom was sitting around, my other cousin sitting around, and she says, "You don't got yo no chest self." And so at that in my mind, because I was a little slow, it's okay to be slow. It went over my head. I was like, I don't have a how do I have no chest when I got a heart? And I was like, and everybody started laughing at me. My girls started laughing, my mama, everybody started laughing. I was like, so I went to my girl. I was like, yeah. When they start laughing, I'm thinking they laughing because I done said a better comeback. And I was like, yeah, she talking about I ain't got no chest. I might ain't got no chest. I got a heart, and how my heart beating when I got a chest right here. So I'm just young and trying to argue back with my 2 3 year old cousin that's older than me and more experienced than I am. And nobody told me what she meant to. I think after we left that night, the next day, my mom was telling the joke to everybody. Oh, so and so said, tell Brittany she ain't got no chest. Brittany said I might ain't got no chest, but I got a heart. I'm thinking this right here, how my heart beating on the inside is covered up by this chest, so you will be able to see my heart. Well, I ain't got no chest, but I got a heart. I know. I was slow. It's okay to be the slow one. I didn't find out later to what she meant about the breast. You see, because I didn't develop as fast as they develop as some of my counterparts. I always had, I was a flat chested little girl. But it's okay though. And some of the ones that used to crack jokes and pick at me that developed way before me. I mean, now as we have aged up, baby, I mean, when I go in the mirror and I take off my clothes, I like what I see. I like how I look. And but it's okay to be the slow one. And so that was a joke that was over that just got cracked on me for many, many years. And I said that thing with sincerity too. I might ain't got no chest, but I got a heart, you know. And even when I went to college, I just didn't fit in. I was always in my own little world. There were people who cracked jokes on me. I remember one time I had one friend. She's like, "That's Sabrina, you gonna die in that room. Ain't that much studying in the world." And they used to always tell me that when they would leave out in the nights and evenings and stuff. And they were like, "You going?" I was like, "No, I would stay, and just stay in my own little world." I felt safe staying in my own little world. And I would study because I saw I had to sign for them student loans, baby. And I was never an honor student prior to college, but I determined I applied myself more, going to college. And I became an honor student within my first year. And so I remember one time they would say, "Oh, you gonna die in that room?" I said, "Well, let me die then." I got mad, but I didn't die. I'm still here. You watching this video, so obviously I made it, you know. And so, I didn't die in my room. I didn't die studying. I became an honor student, and some of those ones that cracked jokes on me, you know, uh, they didn't finish. They didn't finish their degree. There was many folks who got pregnant, dropped out for whatever reason. um and so, but I completed it, and I was told that studying too much, I was criticized, but I had thick skin. I had enough. I could put up with, people cracking jokes on me, laughing at me and stuff like that. And I was one who always kind of cracked jokes myself. I was one that always loved to crack jokes as well, so I wasn't really um uh, easily offended. Sometimes it would get on my nerves and I would just clap back and say what I had to say. But other than that, it didn't bother me, but I was criticized a lot. But however, on the flip side of that, um, I always worked, and then my professors, they found favor in me as well. There was a time when one of my professors, she held me after class and she said, "I was putting a word about you to one of her friends, was a director at a private school, and my major was education." And so she put in a good word and she said she needs some help up there. Are you going to go and make me proud? I said, "Sure, I will." God bless her soul. She's passed away now. This professor, she passed in her 80s. And so she put in a word, and I had a job teaching, at a private school. And then I also would work at UPS late at night, and then I would come to go to my classes, the ones that I had in the mornings and stuff like that. And so I would just, stay focused on what I had going on. And I bought my first vehicle. I bought a 99 Dodge Durango, baby. So I had my own car. Um, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a little something to get by, and I had enough to help those who were needy. Sometimes when we would go out to dinner, I would pay and stuff like that. But I didn't, it's not like I missed anything when I had to disconnect from certain groups, because I was kind of independent, even though I still had little struggles of a normal college student, but I could hold my own, and so it's okay being the slow one. It's okay being the odd one out, after most of the times when some of my those who were my counterparts, when they would hang out, sometimes I would, when I did have free time, there was one professor, she had twin grandbabies, and she got me to start coming over her house sometimes to keep her grandbabies. And when I did have free time, I would call my professors. I had their cell phone numbers and they had mine. And so I would, on the weekend, if I stayed in town on campus, I would go over to my professors and then we would hang out. And then some days, some of my professors, we would have lunch together. Some days they would pay, I would buy. We get that old Southern fishing grits. Either I go pick it up and bring it back to the office, and we'd have lunch in the office. So I was just you know pretty much an older soul, but I graduated, and then after college, I think I was 21 years old. About a year after college, I bought my first house, and I was the first one of the group to become a homeowner, you know. And so all of the, you ever hear the saying, "Those who laugh last, laugh best," you know. And so you'll get. I want you, my young people, be encouraged to be different. Don't ever try to do things to fit in, or give your resources to make people like you, or chase behind people who are acting funny. Let that be a sign that you should just go your way. And I know it feels uncomfortable sometimes being in your own lane, but stay in your, stay in your element. And sometimes how can I say that, if you have a parent that is active in your life that you can talk to, spend time talking with them. If you got professors that find favor with you, spend time talking with your professors after school, gaining their favor, because they're only going to pour into you more knowledge. And then you may even have more questions about the course, the curriculum, or things that you have to learn, that you can take the opportunity to get more out of them than the average people would, average students would. And then you may even have some professors that sometimes your spirit might not click with them. There were two professors during my college time that they just did not like me. I never did anything wrong to them, but they just, you could tell they showed favoritism to other students. They did things to intentionally make me feel uncomfortable, and children don't forget that. Even though I was in college, I was a young adult, but I was still a baby. I was still a child, you know. And so some of my other professors, they could pick up on certain things, and we would discuss it and keep those matters between us. But for the most part, when you are made to feel picked on because you don't fit in, or they call you weird, or they want to try to body shame you about something like that, let that stuff go over your head, baby. Don't do things to try to change yourself and make yourself fit in. Um, don't do things. It can be tempting sometimes to want to fit in and want to do something so that um you look like everybody else, or you're not being the one that they're joking. But try to let that stuff go over your head and let people just go about their business. You'll find yourself being more blessed, more successful, accomplishing more things. Try to make yourself busy. Be too busy to let the things that pull your countenance down absorb into your mental. So if there's things that's going on, or things that's being said about you, or people are trying to make you feel different, make yourself busy in a whole nother area. If you can if you got your curriculum down pack, if your studies is good, it comes easier to you, or whatever you're studying in school, or blah blah blah. If you can pick up another job, make more money, your pockets will be getting fatter. And then you'll have a greater advantage, more resources. You'll be able to explore more opportunities that some of your counterparts, they won't be able to explore. Some of them, they just want to have fun. Some, they just want to go and have sex, or just follow the trend that's easy to follow. And you sometimes, after some years go past, you'll look back at some of them folk and you'll be like, wow, I'm glad I didn't fit in with that group. I'm telling you, sometimes you might cross somebody's path from your past, and you will see some of them, looking so terrible, like they're looking at life as truly just beat them down, destroyed them, and make you feel real sad for some of them. But just if I could say anything about um peer pressure and staying focused, is just be comfortable with being the one that's labeled the odd one out or the slow one. You don't always have to fit in, baby. And sometimes they make you feel different because you are different. There's something very unique about you, but a lot of young people, they're not going to tell you that, you know. So you got to listen to your elders. You got to listen to those who have eyes to see, who've already been along where you're coming along, and be comfortable with letting people go. Be comfortable with letting people go. You know, you don't always have to fit in. As time go on, you're gonna be done accomplish things. A lot of good things gonna happen for you in your life. Yep. A lot of good things gonna happen for you. Doors are open for you. Just like my elders in college, they found favor in me, while some of the people who was around me, they were laughing, cracking jokes, talking about me behind my back. But that was fine. I was thick skinned, and I knew they would talk about me behind my back, but I was in my own little world. I was in my own little world. And, look at how life has turned out and is still turning out for me. I'm still got my good health and strength. I'm still young and vibrant. I'm still accomplishing things. I'm still learning things. My learning never will never end as long as I'm in this earth. My learning will never end. But, some of them same ones who used to criticize me, they're in a stuck place. You know, some of them are in a stuck place. So, you just keep on your journey that you're going on. And don't let the negativity or any type of peer pressure cause you to um, lose your self-respect, your self-dignity, right? Yep. So that's just my little 2 cents. If anybody else got anything to add, to say to the young people, to encourage our young people to keep pressing forward, don't give in to peer pressure, you know, don't give in to the naysayers. It's okay to be the odd one out. That my little 2 cents. It's okay to be the odd one out, baby. The odd one out had a lot of favorable things happen. And right in the middle of my college career, I had a job. My major was education. I had a job part-time teaching, right in the field that I was studying, um, by favor, you know. And I had many other opportunities, I was an honor student, you know. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to share. Just some encouragement for our young people. Don't give in to peer pressure. Keep going. Stay positive. Believe in yourself and let the naysayers go as they come. Yeah. So I hope you guys have a blessed Thursday. I'm going to stay around the house. I don't feel like doing anything today. My sister, you asked me how do I forgot your name, but you were saying, how um do I ever feel lazy or procrastination? Yes, I do feel procrastination sometimes. I wouldn't really say I feel lazy because I'm always doing something. So I don't really like the word lazy. And even when I feel like now I don't feel like doing anything, but there's a part of me that will feel guilty, and that's the part of me feels guilty for not doing anything. A part of me, like, sometimes the mind wants to push thoughts in my head. What about this? What about it? And so I push those thoughts out because I am far from lazy. Um, but there are times when now, if I don't feel like doing anything, I deserve to sit and not do anything. But I have to make myself not beat myself up, if that makes sense. So I'm probably not the right person to ask your question to, because you asked me last night. I think I probably gave you a answer that was all over the place off the top of my brain. And so I'm probably not the right person to ask that question, because I know that there's still a lot that I can learn in that area. But I am very self motivated. I do believe in you have to be self motivated to accomplish a lot of things, but you also have to know how to give yourself a break. And when it comes to sitting idle, um, I don't sit idle much. If I do, I will start thinking, in ways that are not, that don't serve me well. The mind, and then I'll start feeling guilty, and I'll start feeling like negativity and all kind of doubtful things. But I have to get up and do something, accomplish something, if that makes sense. You asked about creating habits. So if anybody has any ideas about how do you create good habits and stick with them, that's what this sister's question was. So I would like you to give her advice and give her input, and I can learn something from it as well, because I think that I may be a bit unorganized or not well organized. I do make my schedule like 24 hours in advance, but like I say, I'm always doing something. There's so many things that demand my attention and my time and my energy. And so sometimes when I don't feel like doing anything, like today, I feel guilty, which I shouldn't feel guilty. So that's something internal that I am not allowing myself to feel guilty, because I deserve to take a break. I deserve to relax whenever I don't feel like doing anything, because I am always doing something. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I don't think I'm the best person to answer that question. I will be interested. I'm interested in hearing what our brothers and sisters will have to say, um, in regards to your question, because I can learn a thing or two as well. Right. So anyway, have a blessed day. I love you guys. If nobody told you that they love you today, you just heard it from me. Your little country bunkin sister loves you. We are the light of the world. Let's not ever let our lights go dark. We got to keep shining bright. And we know that the blood of Jesus Yeshua, our friend, our savior, our brother, his blood is the only blood that has some power. Enjoy your Thursday.